back to Scoundrels, another Star Wars podcast. I am Frank Janish alongside Brandon Hollywood Hanna, and we are here to react to the first public trailer of the Acolyte. Some of it was shown previously at Star Wars Celebration, but now the whole world can watch the trailer on the internet. And I'm here with Brandon Hanna. Brandon, did you happen to see any of the previous footage from Celebration, legitimately or illegitimately?
I saw some cell phone footage on the internet at one point.
Yeah, I think you're on the internet long enough, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, what have you. You're bound to see a really crappy still from that cell phone footage. I will say I did see it off of Reddit, and I'm looking forward to a high quality version now. So why don't we go ahead and do that, Brandon? Let's cue it up to video here. We're all at 000, and I'm gonna hit play on when I say 3. Hit play, okay, Brandon?
Sounds good. I've been waiting all day.
Yes. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. You must
Obi-Wan.
not
That's an
trust
Obi-Wan
them.
line. Or, thereof.
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't
Tell
trust
me
them.
what comes into your mind.
Dude, this looks great.
Balance. I see fire.
Ooh.
Carrie-Ann Moss.
All right. No lightsaber necessary.
Oh, man. I immediately just noticed, like, the swing, swing, swing.
It doesn't make sense.
There it is, Wookiee Jedi.
Sensed darkness.
Dude.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Oh, my gosh.
Damn.
What the hell? Brandon.
Okay.
Brandon. Oh my goodness. What are you thinking right now?
I have a few thoughts, some questions. First of all, I know this is like the High Republic era, and I've already seen a lot of yellow lightsabers in a lot of the artwork, but there's a lot of yellow lightsabers in this era of the Jedi. I would like to know between this time and the prequels where all the yellow lightsabers went.
Yeah,
'Cause they
great
ain't
question.
around.
What happened to those crystals? What, like, did they get confiscated by the Sith? What did they do?
Yeah, unless it, like, I don't know, maybe it says something about the Jedi at this time, where, like,
Yeah,
the time of the prequels is the Jedi Temple guards that have yellow lightsabers, right? So
right.
maybe that means that there's just more Jedi in this time period that their kyber crystals turned yellow because they are protective of teaching the Jedi ways, which is why I think Rey's lightsaber is also yellow, because she's like the guardian of the knowledge, as opposed to, like, they kind of lose sight of that later
Right.
on. But also the red lightsaber, is that going to be revealed to be a Sith? Because the Jedi at the time of the prequels think the Sith are extinct. So either everyone who sees this Sith dies, or they just go, oh, that was just a dark Jedi. That was just someone who turned to the dark side. The Sith are
Yeah,
real.
that's a great question. Interesting question. I do believe this takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace, so, which is to say, it's not really that long of a time period when you're talking about, millenniums, across this timeline, this universe. So, yeah, just because you have a red lightsaber doesn't make you a Sith automatically. I mean, the title of the show is called Acolyte. That leans Sith. Acolyte doesn't necessarily mean you're a Sith Lord. I mean, you can really, I think, get down to the technicalities of it all, and I think maybe that's where the show will go, just in order to tell stories with Sith. Because you're right, like if Mace Windu's like, or Ki-Adi-Mundi, who said it? Ki-Adi-Mundi? I think he said the Sith have been extinct for a millennia. You know, could he? You would, I guess, perhaps he's erring on the side of technicality. Technically, you know, no one's been a Sith Lord. There's been acolytes, there's been warriors, or what have you. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I gotta say, some of the choreography we've seen and kind of the movements is unlike anything you've ever seen in a Star Wars movie and or show. Very much, I think, in line with traditional martial arts. You know, the older films that are kind of really lean into the martial art aspect of it. And I think most recent, I don't know about most recently, but at least American-wise, you get some of that when you watch like Kill Bill Volume 2 and all that, Kill Bill Volume 1 even, where like there's that shot where the person kind of like slides on the floor backwards. Now that could be like the Force, but also like I've seen that in other kung fu martial art movies. It kind of gives that similar feel. So, and given, you know, the time period where the Jedi are at their height, you know, I think we're going to see some Force abilities we may have never seen before. I want to go back to your yellow lightsaber thing real quick. I wonder if it's more about kind of some sort of symbolism in terms of, at this point, the Jedi were more balanced, and as they become more unbalanced, the yellow goes away and the red and green lightsabers tick up because it's more of an enforcement agency in the galaxy as the Clone Wars, you know, raged on. I wonder if, and because it also could play into more of like the Rey thing of like, there's more balance now in the galaxy now that Sidious is gone, you know, and Rey has yellow, but also that protector type of notion along with that color. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how these Jedi navigate whatever's happening, you know, at this point in the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see the Jedi at like the true height of their power. Like, you know, people said that about the prequels, like, oh, it's the height of their power right before the fall, but it is like right before the fall, so they're already like kind of waning. Where like this is 100 years prior, so to me, I'm like, this is the real height of the Jedi, and so it's really cool to see a story about the Jedi at the height of their power. And like obviously we've had like the comics and the books and stuff of the High Republic era, but to see it like in live action is pretty cool. And yeah, I know people are just gonna find stuff to complain about it. But it's like
this is where
we wanted.
This is where I'm sure the book readers, I haven't looked on Twitter or anything like that yet in terms of how I don't think there's really much to go off of in terms of they nailed his era or what have you. I mean, there's a lot of different characters except for one, Venestra Rowe, I think is her name. She's in this show, but considerably older compared to how she's been portrayed so far, thus far in the books. I will be curious to see people's thoughts on her translation from page to screen and from whatever age she is at in the books to the age that she is now. You know, I wonder how fans will react to that. Because Leslie Headland, who's running this show, the showrunner, apparently big fan of this era, so I'm looking forward to seeing how she handles this era of the Jedi, especially, not just the timeline and the scope of the galaxy at this point, but the Jedi in general, because she's in a particular situation where she can have a lot of say in terms of what they're capable of and how they got duped. She can more or less plant some seeds, if anything, in terms of the beginning of the end for the Jedi. I mean, you know, you talk about the Phantom Menace is like the tail end of their height, but maybe this is the series where they're at their height, and this is where it starts to go downhill the next 100 years in terms of the Sith infiltrating Insidious and a whole bunch of. I mean, we're gonna have a whole bunch of questions about this show for the next couple of months because June 4th is the premiere date, 2-episode premiere. I'm really excited for this show, Brandon. If you had to rank your excitement on a scale of 1 to 10 on this show, where would you place it?
I'm at like a solid 7 right now. I
Okay.
think, you know, like I'm into it. I want to see a little bit more to pique my interest. There's like things that I want to see. Like I want to see the, you know, the Sith angle. Like I hope we get to see like more of that, like rule of two, what's going on at this time period. Like, are they, where are they at in their plot in the background of all this and pulling the strings? And if we even get that at all, I don't know. Probably won't. Who knows?
There's a lot that they could tackle. You're right.
Yeah, it's probably just some Jedi that got angry one day. And got a red
Right.
lightsaber.
It was
Crystal,
cool.
and that was it.
It was cool to see that red lightsaber, you know, because you've done it in the video games and whatnot. You never see it. You only saw it once in Rise of Skywalker with Rey in her training, but that was training. It wasn't like an actual combat, nor was it a red lightsaber. Yeah, Darth Vader did somewhat do it on the second Death Star, I guess you could say. But yeah, like seeing stuff like that with the lightsabers and just, you know, also looking at like kind of the indoctrination of these young kids into the Order. What does that look like? I mean, I wonder what this could do for the quote unquote image of the Jedi Order, as if it hasn't already been stained enough by being taken over by the Sith, Insidious, and all that, and being part of the fall of the Republic and all that. I wonder what, just in terms of like their philosophies and how, you know, they go about training young kids, because, you know, reality check when we watch Ahsoka in the flashback, it's like, oh yeah, child soldier. You know, just that reminds you, because it's not an animated show, or is it, you know, wasn't being romanticized in the original trilogy. I wonder what this show can do in terms of how it portrays the Jedi and what we think about the Jedi and all the conflicts I think that the Jedi Order have within itself. I think that could be an interesting area to explore if it goes that way. But I'm super excited for this show. I think I'm at an 8.5, to tell you. I think 8.5, and I'll give a half point because of the trailer. Did the trailer move your needle a little bit, or are you more interested in the concept in general, or did the visuals you saw today move the needle for you?
Yeah, I don't know if it moved it, because like you said, it's like the concept is really interesting, and I didn't get any more than that. I feel like this is very much a teaser trailer. I think once, like maybe watching the first couple episodes, learning who the main characters are and getting further invested in them could like really hook me. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. I'll definitely watch it as soon as it comes out. That I can. I'll probably be asleep, let's be honest. But after that, when I wake up, and let's hope we get some Yoda. I don't care. People like, oh, like C-3PO showing up in when did he show up? Ahsoka. And so it's like, oh, it's like fan service. I don't care. I'm a fan. Service me. Give me Yoda. He should be there. He's already like what, 700 years old?
I think he's like 700. I mean,
800 years old. Maybe.
I mean,
he's already pretty old.
Yeah, he's old, but like, you know, he's probably, you know, we talk about the beginning of the end of the prime years for the Jedi. I think this is where Yoda's at his prime on the way down through the next 100, 200 years, 150 years, whatever it is.
It almost makes me like think about how like Mace Windu was like number 2 in the whole council. Those jokes about like it's just Yoda and Windu making all the decisions and everyone else is just kind of there. It's just like, how does Windu get so much pull? It's like Yoda's like been around for like 8 of his lifetimes, 9 of his lifetimes. It's like, bro, like I'm just gonna, you know, unilaterally start making decisions.
It's who you know, man. It's all about who you know in this town. You know, it's. All right, so I think we'll also have more discussion on this with Kevin in another segment or clip out, whatever that's going to look like. We'll get Kevin's thoughts over here on Scoundrels Inc. Everyone else out there, are you excited for this show? Are you hyped? On a scale of 1 to 10, where's your hype meter at? What do you think? some of the things that they could tackle, the Sith, the Jedi. What are your thoughts going into this series? Are you reading the Old Republic, or the New Republic rather, High Republic, the old new, the High Republic. Yeah. Are you reading the book series? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Are you looking forward to this live action adaptation of the time period? Obviously not of the stories, at least not yet. But this time period now finally coming to screen. Sound off down below in the comments section. Let us know what you think. And stay tuned for our review for The Bad Batch and further discussion on The Acolyte in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. Brandon, this was a lot of fun watching this trailer. I'm going to have to go watch it probably 17 more times, and then watch other explainer videos out there that can break everything down way more than we can.
Yeah, go watch someone else who's not just going to go, oh, lightsaber colors in Yoda. I'm not the best, let's be real. But thanks for watching, if you're still here.
Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Scoundrel. Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.